It's a grey and dreary day here in the UK again. I'm in Tipton in the West Midlands. What am I doing here? Well, I've come to find something that's going to take my mind off of this glum weather. The kind of food you really want to eat when it's like this. I have come to Mad O'Rourke's Pie Factory. That's right. It's all about pie today here, folks. Now, they don't only sell pies, but that's what they're best known for. I think they've got something like 15 or 20 different fillings you can get in the pies. Wow, that sounds right up my straw, doesn't it? They also sell grills and burgers and all sorts of other good stuff. We're going to get in and find out what it's all about right now. Before the heavens open, because it has been sheeting it down almost all of the way up here from Dorset. So, yeah, brief little bit of respite, but I'm not taking any chances. Come on, let's get indoors. So folks, come in and been seated. Really friendly staff here so far. Apologies for the lighting's not great. Everywhere I tried to sit, there's a window behind me. So there's lights all behind me wherever I go. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about this place. So apparently it's been a hostelry on this site since the 1860s. Okay, and the building that I'm in right now was built in the 1920s. And it's been known as Mad O'Rourke's Pie Factory since about 1989, I believe. And since then, it's been through a couple of changes of hands and whatever, but it's been the same family for the last 25 years. So they must be doing something right, yeah? The menu here. Quite extensive, but that's mostly because there's a load of different pies. There's chicken ones, there's steak ones, there's curry, there's some veggie ones. You've got things that are topped with mash, like a shepherd's pie. Lots and lots of different options. I think I'm going to go for the Tyson Fury pie. A pie that packs a bit of a punch. British brisket, slowly cooked with onions in a rich gravy, topped with puff pastry. Sounds excellent to me. Now that is served with battered chips. No, you didn't hear that wrong. In the West Midlands, battered chips is a thing. There's something known as orange chips, I think, as well. So we're going to definitely be trying those. It's a long, long time since I've had them, I have to tell you. If you're not in the mood for a pie, though, there's lots of different options here. I'd say there's some steaks, ribs, fish and chips, burgers, even a kebab if that takes your fancy. Side orders too, and starters. And one of the starters has really piqued my interest. The black pudding potato cake. I think I'll go for one of those too. Yeah, I am really looking forward to this. Proper food that sticks to your ribs in cold weather. Exactly what you're after. And in case you forget where you are, on the menu, look, they've even printed a little picture of the outside. It's a good looking building, I like it. One thing before I forget, this part of the country is also known for a type of beer called mild. So it's a dark beer, quite low in alcohol, and very, very popular around here. And apparently they have their own one that they make themselves. So I've got myself a little one. Lovely and smooth. Oh, and again, nice kind of wintry flavour to it. Yeah, loving that. Starter has arrived. The black pudding potato cake. It's a little bit hard to see because it's served in this kind of ceramic bowl. But basically you've got quite a thick looking potato cake in there, covered in breadcrumbs. That's going to be mashed potato in there, and black pudding and whatever else goes into it. And then a fried egg on the top with loads of cracked black pepper on. And I tell you what, that yolk looks ready to burst to me. It really does. So that's the first thing I'm going to try and do. I'm going to pull it back a little bit so that we get the yolk going all over the breadcrumbs. Oh yeah, nice and runny. Look at that. No snotty bits in there though. That is exactly how an egg should be, in my opinion. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to cut into this so I can show you the inside. Oh, it's a bit hard to pick up. Here we go. Let's see if I can show you this. In fact, get your fingers dirty, Greeno. Come on. So as you can see there, a mashed potato black pudding inside it, breadcrumbs, and fried egg. Tell me what's not to like there. So we're going to get a little bit of everything, I think. It's the kind of thing you can only eat like that anyway, really, because as soon as you start to cut into it, it all kind of mushes together. Oh, this is a hearty looking starter. That is really, really tasty. The egg is beautifully cooked, nice and creamy. The breadcrumbs add a lovely crunch to it, and they are properly crispy. And then inside, you've got that lovely softness from the mashed potato. The black pudding in there is still in chunks. If they kind of mashed it up a little bit, I think you'd lose a lot of the flavour of it. Because here, you chomp onto one of them chunks and you get that proper, deep, rich black pudding flavour. Nicely seasoned with a good whack of black pepper. And it is a kind of stick to your ribs kind of starter. Nothing fancy, nothing pretentious about it in the slightest. Just good flavours done well. And I tell you what, it's going to go brilliantly with this. Oh yeah, this is a proper flavour of the Midlands to me. Love it. So I'm going to finish this up. God, so much black pudding in there. So much. Yeah, finish it up. And then it's pie time. Good job I didn't have any breakfast. Here we are, after the success of that starter, we are on to the main course, the main event, as they'd probably call it when Tyson Fury's involved. This is the Tyson Fury pie, the beef brisket, slow cooked with onions. Apparently it's cooked in red wine. It's going to have a good depth of flavour out, I guess. We also have the battered chips here. Yeah, it's mad, but it works. And a portion of mushy peas. Now, what does this cost me? Let me refer to the menu. So the Tyson Fury pie is $13.99 with the chips, and then the mushy peas is another £3 on top. So I don't think that's particularly unfair. The debate will be, though, is this, not whether it's hot or not, because I've just discovered it is this or is this not a pie? It doesn't have pastry sides. It doesn't have a pastry base. Some people would say that's not a pie. That is a stew with a lid. I don't know. I kind of still think it is a pie, because if you think about it, what's a shepherd's pie? Shepherd's pie, minced lamb, gravy, onions, all the sort of stuff you find in a pie filling, topped with mashed potato. But hasn't got pastry on the sides. I still think it's a pie. Where are we going to start? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and move the mushy peas out of the way for a second. I'm going to decant the chips onto the plate. See what kind of portion we got there. Pretty decent. Oh, and it's chips with scraps as well. Because there's obviously batter in the bottom of that basket that's come off of the chips. And we're going to see how crispy that is. Can you hear that? Lovely, crispy, puff pastry top to the pie. And underneath, oh, let me see if I can show you this. Now take the lid off a second. Be brave, Greeno. Look how absolutely stuffed that is. Completely full to the brim. With that brisket and onion. There we are. Become a pie again, not a stew. I'm going to try the chips first, because I know that's going to keep hot for a long, long time. A nice crispy one. Covered in the batter there. I have got salt and vinegar here, so we'll go with a bit of that. But that's great. The batter on there gives it a real crisp to the outside. They're hand-cut chips. You can tell that. They're not uniform. All little different sizes, all that sort of thing. but they're lovely and soft in the middle. What I will say about these battered chips, I don't think I'd want to go to a chippy necessarily and eat a whole big bag of them. Because obviously being battered, they're a little greasier perhaps than normal chips would be. But like this, as an accompaniment to that pie, yeah, kind of half what you get in a chippy or something maybe. I think it's just fine. It's just fine. Got some of those scraps as well. Yeah. We'll bring the mushy peas back into play. Put them at the front there. Good consistency to them. You can see inside here they've got like whole peas, bits of peas. It's not just a pea puree. And not a bad flavour to them. Now I'm going to say, I'm not sure if these are made on site or not. They may be, but if they are, I'm going to say they taste a lot like tinned ones. A little bit of black pepper in there just for a bit of oomph. A little touch of vinegar, that always helps in mushy peas. And there we are. Give that a little mix around. And that's going to zing everything into life here. Just makes such a big difference. Mushy peas have got a really cool earthy flavour, haven't they? But without that extra bit of seasoning or whatever, something it can be a little bit bland, I guess. Not now. Not now I've added that pepper and that vinegar in there. That has just zhuzhed them up to a whole new level. The main event. The headline act. Am I going to have to go 12 rounds to finish this? Let's see. Lovely crisp to that pastry, I tell you. And then you delve in and you bring out the prize. My goodness me. I was thinking on the drive up here, the times I've featured pies on the channel before. And I don't think it's that often. I remember having a pie and chips in a chippy down in Torquay. It was £5, I think, wasn't it? Pie, chips and mushy peas. That's right back in the early days. You guys probably haven't seen that video. Where else? I had pie and mash in Poole when I took my dad down there. Those were pies, you know, the sort of traditional East End kind of pies. Probably the best pie I've had on the channel and in my whole life was at Jamie Oliver's just before Christmas, where I had that turkey, duck and game pie, which nobody can argue about whether it's a pie or not, because I had the pastry sides as well. I've got to say, the flavour of this filling, I reckon is as good as Jamie's one. It's obviously been slow cooked for a long, long time. Yeah, I'll turn it around so you can see a little bit of that filling. So there's still chunks of meat in there, but a lot of it is just kind of shredded down. The gravy it sits in has an incredibly intense flavour. Incredibly intense. When you can't see onions in there, obviously it's been cooked so long that the onions have just kind of broken down and become part of the sauce. Good Lord, that's good. And as I said before, on a sort of cold, wet, wintry day like today, this is exactly the kind of food you need. I'll tell you what, Jamie, your pie and mash with a dollop of cranberry and no veggies or anything was £24. And all right, you're in Covent Garden, I'm Tipton. But this pie and chips, you know, take the mushy peas out of the equation. This pie and chips is $13.99. So much meat in there. And cooked brilliantly. I don't care whether it's got pastry on the sides or not. It's the flavour of that filling that makes everything here. And again, the beer is a perfect match. I'm going to polish this off. I did have plans to maybe try a dessert after that potato cake and after I finish this. I think that's probably a bit ambitious, don't you? Wow. That is incredible. Well, 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 folks. Mad O'Rourke's Pie Factory here in Tipton in the West Midlands. Oh, if I was standing out there, I'd be getting tipped on. That's for sure. It's absolutely hammering down now. See this guy here, Desperate Dan? I think you need to be like him to finish all of this food. It is proper, hearty, substantial fare. On a day like today, what could be better? It's going to warm you from the inside out. Let me talk you through everything I had. First up, the half pint of Ruby Mild, okay? Their own beer. That, for half a pint, £2.25. That means it's £4.50 a pint. Have I like gone back in time or something? I've driven 3.5 hours up the road. Have I gone back like 15 years at the same time? £4.50 a pint. I can't remember the last time it was like that round my way. The black pudding starter in the little potato cake, kind of like a black pudding fish cake, but without the fish. That's how they describe it on the menu. £6.50 for that, with that beautiful egg over the top. Really nicely seasoned. Yeah, a great thing, a great thing. The Tyson Fury pie, Tyson Fury. That was a knockout of a pie, wasn't it? Absolute knockout. £13.99 for that, with the chips, the battered chips. Now, again, I know there will be those of you out there that say it's not a proper pie because it's in a ceramic pot with just a pastry lid on the top. I don't care. If it tastes that good, it didn't even need a lid. It did. I'd have just been happy with that as a bowl of stew. That was incredible. The chunks of steak in there were so soft you barely needed to chew. I mean, it had obviously been cooked for such a long time in that rich red wine gravy with the onions that everything was starting to break down. There were shreds of meat in there. Oh, it was just delicious. Yeah, amazing. £13.99 for that with those battered chips, I think is perfectly fair. The mushy peas on the side, £3. Yeah, I'm not sure they didn't come out of a tin, to be honest with you. I think that's possibly the one thing that's a tiny bit of a letdown. Subtotal, £25.74 for that. No service charge, £25.74. I mean, I think that's a really fair price. I've come out of here stuffed. I wanted to try a pudding, but I'm not going to order something if I can't eat it, and it would go wasted, because I'd only be able to have a bite or two of it, and I'd be done. Great price, great food. Like I say, the only slight letdown, the mushy peas. The service in there, really, really friendly. What am I going to score it? What am I going to score it? I think it's a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's that good. It's unpretentious, you know. This isn't Michelin-starred food, but not everything has to be, does it? If it fills a hole and it tastes amazing, what more do you want? What do you think? Yeah, there's a big hole where your face is, so you're probably not going to answer me, are you? Maybe I should go standing behind there. He's got a bit of beard going on like me. Yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Does it get Greeno's green light? Yeah, of course it does. It was absolutely excellent. Really was. Greeno's green light, 9.5 out of 10. Love it. If you're ever in this part of the world, in Tipton, in the West Midlands, this is the place you need to come. You'll get well looked after and well fed, let me tell you. Right, that's going to be it from me for today. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help the channel. And if you're new around here, take a little look around the vault. Maybe go back and see that Jamie Oliver pie, see which one you think is better. And yeah, don't forget to click the subscribe button, ding your bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Right, where are you going to find me next? Well, I've come this far up the country. Might as well go a little bit further, hadn't I? I'll see you next time, folks. Bye for now.